Rumor has it Selena Gomez recorded a secret track about her past with Justin Bieber. One so personal, insiders say it made Justin emotional and even walk out of the studio. You're exactly where you need to be. This is the video that unpacks everything: what the track allegedly says, how Justin reacted, and why this moment might be more revealing than anything we've heard in interviews or seen online. But here's where it gets really interesting. We'll explore what's not being said, like why this song surfaced now, what it could mean for Justin and Hailey's relationship, and whether this emotional thread to Selena ever truly faded. The style here is immersive and layered, not just headline recaps, but a step-by-step unraveling of emotions, timelines, and connections that have shaped this ongoing saga. What makes this video different? While others focus on the surface drama, we're following the emotional breadcrumbs, the lyrics, the reactions, and the shifts that hint at something deeper beneath the headlines. So if you're drawn to stories that unfold like a puzzle, piece by piece, you're in for something compelling. Let us know in the comments what you think the track means, like if you've ever had the past show up when you least expected it. And subscribe to Chatterfuse, because what's coming next might just change the way you look at this love triangle forever. The track that wasn't meant to be heard. What if the most emotional song Selena Gomez ever wrote wasn't on any album? And what if that song was never meant to be public at all, but still found its way to Justin Bieber's ears? That's exactly what sparked a wave of speculation online. According to insiders, there's a hidden Selena track circulating behind the scenes. It's raw, deeply personal, and packed with references that fans say can only be about one person: Justin. But what really set the internet on fire? Justin heard it, and his reaction was nothing short of emotional. Some say he was stunned into silence. Others claim he walked out of the room entirely. So what's in this song that could hit him so hard after all these years? That's the mystery we're about to unravel. Because this track isn't just stirring old feelings, it's dragging unresolved emotions back into the spotlight, at a time when his relationship with Hailey is already under a microscope. In the next section, we'll break down why this song, if it exists, carries so much weight, and how it connects to the years-long musical back and forth between Justin and Selena that fans have followed like a romantic code hidden in plain sight. A love story told through lyrics. How do you move on from a relationship that never truly ended, especially when the world watched it unfold? For Justin and Selena, music wasn't just a creative outlet. It became the language of their entire love story. A back and forth spanning years, where every new release felt like a confession, a response, or a closure that never quite stuck. From Justin's Nothing Like Us, a track many believe to be a heartbreak ballad about losing Selena, to Selena's Lose You to Love Me, which tore open wounds with lyrics like, "In 2 months, you replaced us like it was easy." These weren't just songs. They were timestamps in a relationship that shaped their identities and invited the world to decode what was really happening behind the scenes. So what does this tell us about the hidden track? Why does it matter now, years later, when both have seemingly moved on? Because this alleged new song isn't just another chapter, it feels like a final word, filled with references so intimate. Insiders say they could only come from real, lived moments between them. And for Justin, hearing that, it's not just nostalgia. It's a direct hit to the emotional blueprint of his most formative years, the ones he shared with Selena long before his life with Hailey even began. In the next section, we'll explore how this musical history, this emotional breadcrumb trail, makes it nearly impossible for either of them, especially Justin, to ever fully leave the past behind. The past that won't stay in the past. If Justin's moved on, why does one song shake him this deeply? To understand that, we have to rewind to 2018, the year everything changed. After nearly a decade of on-again, off-again chaos, Justin and Selena finally ended things. For good. Or so we thought. Within months, Justin was engaged to Hailey. By September, they were married. But how do you go from an emotionally loaded breakup to walking down the aisle, all in under 90 days? That's the speedrun timeline that still leaves fans, and maybe even Justin, with questions. Because right after the wedding, Selena released Lose You to Love Me, a track that didn't just hint at heartbreak, it felt like a public processing of abandonment. And then came Hailey's response, a screenshot of I'll Kill You by Summer Walker, posted to her Instagram story the same day Selena's song dropped. She claimed it was a coincidence, but the internet wasn't buying it. The tension wasn't just between exes, it was bleeding into Justin's new relationship. And now, years later, with this hidden track reawakening old wounds, it's clear. The past wasn't buried, it was just quiet. So how does Hailey really feel about all of this? And what happened when Justin finally opened up to her about hearing the song? That's coming up in the next section. And let's just say, it wasn't the explosive confrontation people expected. It was something much more real. The conversation no one saw coming. When Justin heard the track, did Hailey flip? Did it become a fight about Selena? Surprisingly, no. According to insiders, what happened wasn't some dramatic blow-up. It was something deeper. Justin reportedly initiated a quiet, honest conversation with Hailey, not to reopen old wounds, but to process the emotional flood the song had triggered. And here's where it gets interesting. Instead of deflecting or pretending it didn't affect him, Justin admitted it did. That hearing the track brought up memories from a chapter that shaped who he is today. But does that mean he still has feelings for Selena? Or was this just about closure he never really got? Sources say Justin was clear. This wasn't about longing, it was about acknowledging. About realizing that the past, especially one as emotionally charged as his with Selena, doesn't just disappear because you've moved on. For Hailey, that honesty reportedly stirred mixed emotions. Understanding, but also unease. Because when your partner reacts that intensely to a voice from the past, even if it's just processing, it naturally raises questions. Still, both walked away from the talk with a stronger sense of clarity. Justin, for his part, was trying to make peace with the fact that his past didn't need to threaten his present, but it did need to be respected. But here's the twist. This wasn't the first time Justin's feelings about Selena surfaced in his marriage. In fact, he's spoken about her, even described their connection, in ways that suggest she's still a major thread in his emotional DNA. That's exactly what we'll unpack in the next section. All the subtle ways Justin's past with Selena continues to echo through his life, even years after their final goodbye. When the past speaks louder than the present. If Justin's really over Selena, why does she keep showing up in his words, his music, even his interviews? That's the question fans have been asking for years. And the hidden track just brought it roaring back. See, even after marrying Hailey, Justin's public comments about Selena have always carried weight. He's called their relationship intense, passionate, and at one point even said it felt like soulmate energy. And that's not just emotional residue. That's a deep imprint, one that doesn't just vanish, no matter how many wedding rings or Instagram posts you stack on top. So, how does Hailey deal with that? And more importantly, how do you build something new when the shadow of something old still lingers? Insiders say Hailey has worked hard to create her own identity in this marriage, but moments like this track and Justin's visible emotional response are reminders that some parts of him are still working through the past. And here's where things get even trickier. This isn't just about memories, it's about art. Justin has built entire songs, entire eras around Selena. From Sorry to What Do You Mean, fans have always believed he was trying to say what he never could in real life. And now, with this unreleased track from Selena, it feels like she's answered back. One last time. But is this just a nostalgic echo? Or is it something deeper? A sign that Selena herself is still processing too? In the next section, we'll get into the theories around Selena's motivation. Why release something so raw now? And what does it say about her emotional journey? Selena's silence breaks in a whisper. Why now? Why would Selena record a song like this? So raw, so private, and risk reigniting everything she's worked so hard to move past? That's the question everyone's asking. Because from the outside, Selena seems to have found peace. She's been open about her mental health journey, released empowering music, and even launched Rare Beauty. All signs she's moved on and grown stronger. But if this hidden track is real, it suggests that while she may have moved forward, she hasn't forgotten. The song is said to include references only someone who lived that love story would know. Quiet details, shared phrases, emotional scars that never got airtime. It doesn't sound like revenge or drama, it sounds like closure, just not the kind you announce. So did Selena mean for Justin to hear it? Was it a message, or just a form of healing she never expected to resurface? That's still unclear. But here's what we do know. Selena has always used her music as a mirror. From the heart wants what it wants to lose you to love me, she's never shied away from pain. This track feels like the final page of that emotional diary, the part she wrote for herself, not for the world. But in this digital age, nothing stays hidden forever. And now that the song has reached Justin's ears, it's not just about her healing anymore. So how has this musical ripple affected Justin's world, especially at a time when his relationship with Hailey is facing its own growing cracks? That's what we're diving into next. How the hidden track landed at the exact worst possible moment, and what it's unraveling in the Bieber marriage. A song drops, and so does the illusion. What if the timing of this track wasn't just inconvenient, but explosive? Because here's the thing. Justin and Hailey weren't exactly in their honeymoon phase when this track surfaced. Behind the curated Instagram posts and polished appearances, rumors have been swirling for months. Whispers of separation, emotional distance, and even claims that they've been living apart. Then came the prayer post. Hailey's father, Stephen Baldwin, made headlines when he publicly asked people to pray for Justin and Hailey, not for success, not for health, but for their marriage. So what's really going on behind closed doors? Insiders say the couple has been struggling to stay connected, emotionally, mentally, and maybe even physically. Their separate arrivals at public events, their lack of recent joint appearances, it all adds up. And into that fragile space drops this song, a lyrical time capsule that reopens the one chapter Hailey has likely tried hardest to turn the page on. And Justin's emotional reaction? It didn't just stir the past, it disrupted the present. So is the song the problem, or just the trigger? That's what makes this moment so complex, because it's not just about Selena anymore, it's about the cracks already forming in the foundation, and whether Justin's reaction is revealing something deeper he hasn't yet admitted. In the next section, we dig into the heart of it. Is this emotional unraveling just about an old song, or about a man finally confronting what he never healed from? The breakdown, before the breakthrough, was Justin's reaction really about Selena, or was the hidden track just a mirror he wasn't ready to look into? Because let's be honest, Justin's emotional reaction didn't come out of nowhere. He's spoken openly about his struggles with mental health, depression, anxiety, and the scars of growing up in the spotlight. Behind the fame, he's a person who's been searching for peace in a world that rarely gives it. So when that hidden song hit, maybe it wasn't just the lyrics, maybe it was the timing, the state he was in, the weight of everything he hasn't fully processed. Sources close to the couple say this moment triggered something bigger, not just sadness, but reflection. Justin reportedly spent hours looking through old memories, photos, revisiting parts of his life he thought he'd closed the door on. And here's the deeper truth. When you've shared a bond as formative as the one he had with Selena, it doesn't vanish. It lives in your choices, your reactions, your silence. So was this Justin unraveling, or finally beginning to integrate the past? Insiders suggest it's the latter. He's not spiraling. He's evolving. They say he's been channeling these emotions into new music, not breakup ballads, but introspective tracks about growth, grief, and the challenge of reconciling the person you were with the person you're becoming. For the first time in a long time, Justin isn't reacting. He's reflecting. But can Hailey accept that? Can she separate emotional honesty from emotional danger? And can Justin truly build a future with her if parts of his heart still echo with the past? That's what we'll explore in the next section, the thin line between processing the past and being pulled back into it. The line between remembering and reopening. Is it possible to honor your past without being pulled back into it? Or does remembering always come with a risk of relapsing? That's the tightrope Justin now finds himself walking. On one hand, this moment could be his most mature yet, confronting old emotions instead of burying them. He's reportedly in therapy, working through years of pain, fame, and fractured relationships. And that's growth. But on the other hand, Hailey is watching it all unfold in real time. She's built her life around being Justin's present and future. But when his past reemerges and clearly still holds weight, where does that leave her? Is this healing or a subtle emotional drift back toward what once was? Hailey has faced accusations for years that she copied Selena, that she was the rebound, that she inserted herself into something unfinished. And while she's publicly denied those claims, the comparisons haven't stopped. And now, with this new track surfacing and Justin reacting the way he did, those comparisons feel fresh again. Sharper, unavoidable. So where does that leave this marriage? On shaky ground? Or in a rare place of honest emotional integration? That's the unresolved thread, and the one fans can't stop tugging on. In the next section, we'll explore how both Justin and Hailey are navigating this fragile moment, and whether it will tear them apart or finally allow them to build something real, grounded in truth instead of illusion. Integration or implosion. Every relationship has ghosts. The question is, do you bury them or do you learn to live with them? For Justin and Hailey, the resurfacing of Selena's hidden track may be the defining test of their marriage, not because of what's in the song, but because of what it triggered: insecurity, vulnerability, truth, and maybe, most importantly, honesty. Justin didn't run. He didn't deny. He faced the impact. And Hailey, according to sources, didn't explode. She listened. She asked questions. She held space. That alone speaks volumes. Because the goal isn't forgetting, it's integrating. Not erasing the past, but learning how to carry it without letting it break the present. And as Justin moves into a new chapter, one possibly filled with fatherhood, new music, and more emotional transparency, the question isn't, is he still in love with Selena? It's, has he finally made peace with who he was when he loved her? That's a journey not just for him, but for anyone trying to turn pain into peace. If you've made it this far, you've just walked through the emotional timeline of one of pop culture's most complex love stories. Not just the headlines, but the human parts. But here's what we haven't answered yet. What if Selena releasing that song wasn't random, but intentional? We're diving into Selena's side of the story in our next video, exploring the clues that suggest she may have known exactly what she was doing and why it might not be the last message she sends. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Justin and Hailey can fully move forward? Or are some love stories too big to stay buried? Like if you've ever faced something from your past you thought was long gone. And don't forget to subscribe to Chatterfuse, because the next part of this story might just change how you see all three of them.